Here we go.
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Welcome to the What's Left podcast on the Derealization Nation Media Network.
I can't afford Mountain Dew! Okay? The economy's rough right now! Obama!
Miners, I love miners.
And now, your hosts.
John, Jacob, Brad, Derealization Nation Media Network. You're on the What's Left podcast. Before we get started, come on, like and subscribe. It really is helping us push out to the algorithm. The stuff we talk about doesn't push itself out there. I'll tell you that right now. Because what we're going to talk about, we're going to get a lot of Epstein file stuff, even more new material started up. We've got wars in Iran, Sudan, connections too from the UAE to the Epstein files and back to Trump. And we've got other stuff too. So we want to start here with a piece of good news. So ICE had detained a 5-year-old Liam Ramos, who famously was wearing that little blue bunny hat. And that one went pretty viral. He was released today along with his father, and they were escorted back to Minnesota by the congressman Juan Castro and Joaquin Castro, and this is Liam. See, he got the
Liam, mira acá.
got to fly his own plane home. So you love to see that.
Go for it. Push hard.
So that's pretty cool. It's nice to see something decent happen, but I mean, it comes from the fact that they stole him in the first fucking place, him and his dad.
Yeah, they sent him back to Minnesota, meaning he obviously wasn't in the wrong. They had no business bothering him in the first place. Like, I don't get it, dude.
Nope. They traumatized that child by putting him in prison. And, you know, no reason. Like, he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. Unless he's able to somehow repress it or maybe just forget about it. But yeah, it's good news, but also just news that didn't need to happen. So that's good. We also have the two of the killers of Alex Preddy have been identified, and it debunks the entire thing. Talking about, Democrats are like, oh, you just need more training, more yada yada, more camera angles. Well, these guys were hired in 2014 and 2018. They're plenty trained. They're Customs and Border Patrol agents. And this is just the reality that people are going to have to face up to, is that this is what Customs and Border Patrol do. They do it to immigrants at the border all the time. They get away with it because they're undocumented and off the fucking grid. They have no business. They're not a police force. They're not law enforcement. They are thugs. DHS is garbage. They should have thrown out everything that had anything to do with George W. Bush the second he left the White House. They should have maybe they should have just fucking like burned the place to the ground and started from scratch right then and there. But they did not. And so we're stuck with this fucking remnant. And there are still people out here who will not abolish ICE. And that's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the amount of training when the training is aggression. Like, it doesn't matter how much you train them. The training is aggression.
Yeah. And happy first day of Black History Month. These you can identify these people with the Gestapo and SS, and it's a fair assumption, but a slave catcher is much more in tune, because what you have here is states, sanctuary cities that have laws prohibiting this. And they're doing it anyway, which is what the slave catchers were able to do in the 1850s. They were able to force and coerce states who had legalized slavery to send escaped slaves back to their owners, and that's pretty much, and it's where we're at. And they're at the of course, there's the racial profiling piece too, the Kavanaugh stops that obviously. Like this is racial stuff. Like Liam Ramos's dad wasn't sent to Texas because he was here illegally. He was sent there because he was brown. See that over and over again. So if you want to learn something for Black History Month, make it about slave patrols. Make it about the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. Um, one more piece of decent news before we go back into the fucking depths of hell. Uh, Democrats flipped a seat in Texas they won 2 seats in Texas. One seat they were supposed to win. And the other they flipped a Trump plus 17 district. So that was pretty cool. He ended up winning
Love to see it.
I think a 30-point swing,
Trump endorsed the candidate he beat too.
and then pretended like he never heard of never heard of the race the next day. They were like, "Hey, what happened down there in Texas?" He's like, "What's a Texas?"
Yeah, it's almost like someone else is controlling his social media now, like Stephen Miller or Kushner. Or when they post that kind of stuff, like "gotta vote for so and so,"
Oh, I hate
and
that.
then Donald Trump's like, "Wait a minute, when did I say that?" So it's either the Sundowners or someone else posted it, and they're like, "Shit."
Jake, you know what bothers me about this though is that it gets him off the hook. I'm tired. Like the dementia. It's all like excuses for this guy, and I want to see him stand get some accountability someday. Especially with all the stuff we're about to start reading about all the stuff we've been into with these fucking Epstein files and shit. I don't love it.
So you're saying that shit that they used to tell us about Joe Biden being terrible because he had all these things is just, oh, silly old Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. The same
Hmm.
thing. They're the
Yeah.
same person.
They are. They're not, they're not as different as people would love you to believe, are they? Oh,
Crazy how we just keep letting old white men run the country, and this is what happens.
oh my God, is it ever what happens? Um, yeah, I mean, when you look at why ICE, why Democrats won't oppose ICE, I mean, look at Jeffrey's two biggest donors are BlackRock, who's heavily invested in all things AI, top 10 AI companies, and you have Lockheed Martin, the military industrial complex, is his like is one of his outside of APAC is like one of his other big donors, and so like you have the leader of the fucking Democrats, uh, just handcuffed by his fucking donors. He's not handcuffed because you can defy them. You're allowed to. You do it to the other voters all the time. You do it to your $5 donors every day.
Right.
But yeah, that's where we are. Big part of it is this, and we're going to talk about some of the implications, whether you call it uh, distractions or direct results of. There are wars being threatened all over the Middle East and in Africa, and just world instability in general is on the rise. You have threats from North Korea now. It's getting wild out there. But we want to talk about some of these connections internationally, and then just a couple of really gross things too that just, as people continue to comb through them, we found. So Jake, let's go. I don't know, just pick a random spot and let's dive into more of. I said it yesterday, like was at my sister's house, and I was just like, I just feel like this country should just be swallowed up whole. Like, just the earth should open and just suck it in. I'm just so disgusted by everything. Um, I think a lot of people are.
I might need to give me a minute.
So this piece here is specifically very important because it is unlike a lot of the others documents we read are summaries of FBI tips. This is a signed affidavit. So this is somebody swearing under the threat of perjury, so under the threat of jail time, serious prison time, that they personally witnessed defendant Trump telling the plaintiff she shouldn't ever say anything if she didn't want to disappear like the 12-year-old female blank, and that he was capable of having her whole family killed. This is like the fifth time we've read something like this about Donald Trump threatening teenagers. After leaving the employment of Mr. Epstein in the year 2000, I was personally threatened by Mr. Epstein that I would be killed and my family killed as well if I ever disclosed any of the physical and sexual abuse of minor females I had personally witnessed by Mr. Epstein and any of his guests. I'm coming forward to swear to the truthfulness of the physical and sexual abuse that I personally witnessed of minor females at the hands of Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein, including the plaintiff, during my time of employment from the years 1990 to 2000 for Mr. Epstein. I swear to these facts under penalty of perjury, even though I fully understand that my life of myself and my family are now in grave danger. And then the official declared under penalty of perjury, and the signature is signed under a pseudonym, Tiffany Doe. And yeah, that's some fucking heavy ass shit.
Yeah, that's not a tip line. That's not a hunch. That is a person willing to go to prison if they're lying.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we get that's like the worst of the worst, like there's bodies buried in this under the golf course in Sao Paulo or wherever it is. Like that stuff is summaries of FBI tip line stuff, which also means that since Todd Blanche is saying that there's no more documents, that's objectively a lie because those summaries are summaries of documents. So those documents also exist in the files. So we don't have like the individual tips of all those summaries either. So this guy is full of shit. He already said that the videos and the pictures, although some did leak, most of them did not. But yeah, this one is super important because this is an actual affidavit. So this is crazy shit. And names both Trump, Epstein, and other guests. So again, not just Epstein. This one is what's this one say? The hope of Florida because the agents have been terrorizing me. Ah, yes. This is sent to the attorneys from the victims. And there's a lot of speculation that these attorneys have not been responsive and even maybe grifting off of these survivors. And so that's something else that like only these files can release these people from uh, their their prison of silence. So I wrote to you regarding Epstein. I really need help outside of Florida because these agents have been terrorizing me and are corrupt, and I believe they are psychopaths. I'm living in a nightmare and they have threatened my life. She was talking about federal agents, the FBI and CIA. I'm a target of the very people who raped me. In 2021, I ended up in jail and didn't know why I was there. A Sheriff Grady Judd entrap entrapment. I'm just reading the way it's written, along with the FBI. Sheriff Grady Judd was at the church raping me as a child, and the CIA and FBI knew and did nothing to help me or my younger sister. The FBI knew I was raped by Epstein when I was between the age of about 10 and 12 years old, and they knew I was gang raped by Stephen Bannon and 9 other men while strapped down on a table at Epstein's. The men targeted me because they made reference to me being strapped down and raped as a child. It was my punishment for telling that I saw James Bulger and Kevin Weeks kidnap a child. This witch hunt started when I was 5 years old. I couldn't remember, but I remember now that I told my teacher I was being molested and I told her I witnessed my parents doing a kidnapping. They weren't my parents. My teacher, Janice Farnham of Prattville School, tried to get me help but never came. James Bulger's connections were obviously very powerful. And I just want to point out what we're reading here is a, an accusation of the FBI and CIA being directly involved in the rape and cover up. So, Brad, you want to help out with this one?
Yeah. In 2021, I was told by Robert A. Murray that when I remember everything, they will kill me. I had no idea what he was talking about because I couldn't remember. This appears to be true. He also said when I remember, I shouldn't report anything to the authorities because they will just say I'm a psychopath. Well, I'm not going to be silenced, and I will tell the truth. I am a target of Donald Trump. In 2014, a CIA agent tricked me into going to Epstein's in Palm Beach. He said I was going to a holiday party. I got there with him, was handed a drink, and I was drugged once again. He took me to a room and said, "Wait here, I'll be right back." And immediately the door was shut and locked by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Every time I tried to get out, they would back me into the room, and it was Ghislaine Maxwell who was really doing this. I was locked in a room to be a sex slave. At one point, the butler unlocked the door, and standing there was Donald Trump. I wasn't his cup of tea. He said to a man, "Make sure she drinks some of that so she forgets I was here." Then said to the butler, "Only open the door that you think I will like." In 1998, Robert A. Murray was working with the FBI and told me I was a victim. I didn't understand, and he told me I don't remember. He was working with the same short FBI agent that took me from my bed several times and drugged me. In 1998, I was asked if I saw James Bulger kidnap a child when I was about 14, and I said, yes, I did. Well, days later, I was set up and put on a government list by a woman at Massachusetts General Hospital that was a psychiatrist. She mentioned the name Rico, who she said she was going to call because she had a connection after I told her you can't put me on a list without a court hearing. This woman was working with my younger sister. I was called by the woman who pretended to be my mother, and she told me I had a meeting to discuss my sister's treatment plan. I walked into a witch hunt of false allegations. These allegations were made by two women who are Winter Hill gang members. At the end of the meeting, the psychiatrist said, "You shouldn't be talking about the kidnapping you witnessed to endanger your family." Then two men came in and injected me with drugs, and they put a wire in my wrist. I couldn't remember they did this to me until recently. They've been listening to my entire life. The two women who made false allegations about me set me up, and I almost died. They asked me if I witnessed a kidnapping, and I said I did. Days later, James Bulger and Kevin Weeks abducted me and another woman, and I was overdosed with drugs for having a big mouth. I woke up in a different month. The man who pretended to be my father was also involved, as he did work for James Bulger, which I didn't know or could remember any of the horrors of my life.
We can
A
pause
witch
right
hunt
there.
A witch hunt that continues today, which includes the FBI trying to prove I'm a lesbian and entrapments that are just wrong. I drove to a sushi restaurant, and the FBI agent said I drove by a school on purpose, which is just a lie. This just goes on and on. In 1998, Robert A. Murray, my boss at Bank of Boston, said there were psychopaths in the CIA and FBI playing a game. He said Donald Trump was involved and was in this pedophile ring. He mentioned Justice Clarence Thomas, who I didn't know. He also told me I was sold to the CIA by the man who pretended to be my father, the man that raped me repeatedly and sex trafficked me. I didn't believe it, but I do now. These agents here in Florida that took me from my bed, I believe, are psychopaths. I remember the short agent asked me if I had a bad luck night shirt. I didn't understand what he was talking about, nor could I remember because I was drugged and sitting there in a night shirt half naked. Now I understand, and this is truly going to be hard for anyone to believe, but every time they take me from my bed, I'm wearing a particular night shirt. In 2014, I was abducted by Kevin Weeks and another man. A woman I knew set me up and said she knew these men. I couldn't remember Kevin Weeks because I was drugged on a substance that erases your memory. I was raped and tortured. I was drugged and smashed in the head with a hammer. As the men smashed me in the head, the man who tortured me said, "Be careful, she's our computer." The man that was electrocuting me, he was saying, "You're not going to talk about the kidnapping you witnessed of Christine." Can you scroll up because the thing's blocking me here?
Like that,
Go
or
ahead. Then he would electrocute me. John Martorano was the man who raped me and took a picture of me naked and said, "Let's take a picture for Clarence Thomas." Justice Clarence Thomas raped me at a church in Massachusetts when I was about
4 or 5 years old. This is also my CIA file because a few people have asked me if I remember, but I couldn't remember much of my childhood because I was drugged so much. After I was tortured, I remember standing on a sidewalk and I couldn't remember what I had just endured. The woman I was with called the cops. The cops came, and instead of taking me to the hospital, I was sent to the FBI office because they said I was a psychopath. I had blood dripping from my head from being smashed in the head with a hammer, and I couldn't remember I was just tortured. I ended up in a meeting with the same short psychopath agent and his wife. I tried getting help from my sheriff here, but he is manipulated by the FBI agent. I was accused of being on drugs, and I am not a drug addict. My drug test came back clean. Baker acted unjustly, and it was a setup just as Robert A. Murray had described to me previously. The short FBI agent has shot a GPS tag in my butt and leg. They put a pin in my knee and they put a wire in my neck. They put pins in my head. They put a pin in my back, and I'm not doing well. A woman agent who is married to the short agent said she would tell the doctors I did this to myself and nobody would believe me. I went to the emergency room and I can't get any doctors to believe me because the FBI agents usually call and say I'm a psychopath. About 2 years ago, I woke up on a table and these agents have me in a facility where they do medical procedures. They put a pacemaker device in my heart and they went through my femoral artery. They said they put something in my carotid artery as well. They threaten my life if I talk about certain things I witnessed these agents doing that relates to kidnapping. Pedophile ring, I was victims to as a child. These agents are guilty of participating in the beating death of missing children in Massachusetts and it's a sick and twisted plot that they are the very agents targeting me, the victim. Several years ago, FBI agent Andrew McCabe put a FISA warrant on me unjustly. I witnessed him pay a woman to have sex with her underage daughter. I do not know how I got to this place, but I remember a man telling me to get up and stop him. I got up and I looked at the mother and Andrew, but I wasn't brave enough and I couldn't remember all these years. This was just another time I was taken from my bed at gunpoint. I'm a victim of being raped several times and set up by Winter Hill gang members. Winter Hill gang members that are in the FBI and CIA. People have also faked their death to be in the CIA at the expense of terrorizing me. One man, Keith Shipley, invited me to a lunch in 2011. I got in the vehicle and he handed me a drink of water by a man in the front seat, and it was laced again. These men were also these men were as also Winter Hill gang members. I woke up tied to a chair and a man had a propane tank and was waving flames at me. He said I could live if Keith drank cyanide. It was it was all fake and Keith is alive. Another person that is alive and is in the CIA is Virginia Guaffrey. I remember the same FBI agent telling me that they had to put her in the CIA because they would kill her. As this did was all this did was silence Virginia, and the people that wanted her dad should be held accountable, but instead the victims are silenced. In 2008, my boss said to me, "The FBI is on the phone. Did you see James Bulger kidnap a child?" I said, "I did." That night, I was raped by Ron DeSantis. I woke up naked on my floor, tied up and beaten while James Bulger stood there with a gun. Then Ron DeSantis came in and raped me. He said by the time I remember him raping me, I'll be locked up as a psychopath. Then a woman came in and faked sex with me, and that woman is Nancy Mace. James Bulger said he was going to put it on your porn.
You porn,
Put
I'm
her on
guessing.
his porn.
You
I
porn their website. Not that I
I
would, not that I'm an expert or anything.
I couldn't remember this. This was my punishment for telling. I'm not a psychopath, nor am I a predator. I'm a victim of many rapists, these FBI agents. I got sold to, be raped, and never asked for this life.
All right, let's pause on that story for a second. Because it sounds like it's an insane story, and we just need a second to digest that. But I gotta say too, as crazy as all of that sounds, even before this was dropped, so many people that I follow that are say are there are survivors of this say this is the kind of stuff that's coming, including the torture, human experiments, uh, the breeding of kids, all of this stuff is coming. The Winter Hill Gang, for those who don't know, is a kind of a loosely organized crime figures in the Boston, Massachusetts area. Winter Hill is a neighborhood near where's this? In North Boston. So that's who the Winter Hill Gang is. Guys, it's wild. Clarence Thomas, Ron DeSantis, and Nancy Mace. Thoughts on after having to read that one?
Again, it's just seeing the how extensive it is. Like we, the whole, it's all ran by fucking pedophiles. All of this.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of the matter. Somehow they have created a cabal that has put them all in positions of power, and Jeffrey is the common denominator.
He's the common denominator. He seems to be the conduit, the center, maybe like the nexus, but not the boss. Doesn't seem to be the boss. At least not to me. He seems to be more of a, I don't know, like a nerve center to the whole operation. Because there's just so much involvement. Jake?
Um, this is way out of hand, and the government still sitting by, not questioning these people, pulling these people in, is a direct fuck you to the entirety of the citizens of America. That's about it.
Yeah, truly.
Truly, if it goes this deep as they say, or there's even an inkling of like
If
this
it's
big
if
of a ring, like that is extremely telling for how bad this shit is. It's
if
too much.
1/10 of this is true, dozens and dozens of people should be imprisoned.
Yeah, and then you got Blanche saying no one's being prosecuted.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, this is it. That's what he says. It's over. You got what you get. That's insane. Trump says this vindicates him somehow. He
He's
says,
absolved.
yeah, very important people told him. And I'm sure that very important people did tell him that because they're afraid to tell him the truth about what was released. I guarantee you. What else do we have, Jake? It's This one's interesting. So in the uh within the files, deep in the files, a trans teen also accused Epstein in 2007, vilified and stalked and silenced with $28,000 settlement. Ava Cadero was 16 when Jeffrey Epstein sexually assaulted her, which came forward in 2007. The New York Post outed her, mocked her identity, and called her a liar. Because that's what the New York Post does. Absolute fucking trash bag rag. Fuck the New York Post. Neither of these DOJ documents reveal what happened next. Epstein paid her $28,000 to stay silent. If she had been believed, perhaps over 1,000 victims might have been spared. 2007, because he went on to continue to do this for another decade at plus. Any surprise there?
No, but they love to villainize trans people. That like so much so that they're willing to let others be abused
Yeah,
to villainize a trans person.
it's like when they like the it's like with the Preddy thing. They're like, oh well, he is an agitator, so he deserved to be fucking executed. Like this is like that like their whole thing is like, well, this is a trans person, so that's what the New York Post is saying here. It's basically like, well, that's crazy.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, this is something. This was she's this person. She was 16 years old. It shouldn't have mattered. The fact that they reported this as a push, whatever thing, and people read this, and like this still went on for how long? It's crazy. 2008, he was charged, uh, but still. All right. So here's interesting thought. As we continue to not have peace in Ukraine, though they keep saying they're having decent talks, we have said many times in the show that it's very clear that Putin has some kind of Epstein files on this guy, some sort of compromise or whatever the fuck they call it in Russian, because who the hell rolls out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin on American soil in a literal fashion, unless he's extremely compromised. So the fact that Vladimir Putin is from Chad Scott, CP Scott 16 on Twitter, the fact that Vladimir Putin appears in the FC files roughly 1,000 times, 1,000 times, without being accused as a predator himself, strongly suggests intelligence collection for blackmail purposes. If that is the case, the FC matter is not just a criminal scandal, but an immediate and emerging national security crisis. Congress should be investigating this starting tomorrow, starting yesterday, Chad. Anyway, we have no clear understanding of what leverage Putin may have gained over senior levels of U.S. government, whether to extract state secrets or shape decision-making itself, and how Russian intelligence operations. It's naive to think that any such information would not ultimately be shared with Xi Jinping and used for leverage on the global stage. I disagree with the idea that they would share with China anything more than they had to, but I totally agree that they would use Russian intelligence. They don't collect intelligence to not use it. And as we've said many, many times, if you couldn't be more of a Russian asset if you tried. Like if he's not a Russian asset, he's doing a hell of a job of playing one on TV. You know? Um, so yeah, the there's no reason for this to have to continue. Um, especially like I said, the real national security crisis is not releasing these files. There is no national security threat to keeping to actually letting them out. Like we have to know. The American people have to know. Congress has to know.
The
This that
world has to know. This is much bigger than just America. The
yeah.
world needs to understand what is happening.
I think the world does understand what's happening because you see Europe moving away from the United States, Canada moving away from the United States. I think everybody understands who's running. Maybe not necessarily for sure who, but that someone is running the show and it does not have the world's best interest in mind. That's for sure. Uh, and it's not Trump. At least I don't think so. So this is how instead of like the media being parked outside of the White House demanding answers, you have people like the BBC reporting that Trump has consistently denied any wrongdoing in relation to the Epstein and has not been accused of any crimes by Epstein's victims. That's their headline. I'm sorry. Did they not get a copy of what of the files that just dropped this weekend?
Of the signed affidavit.
Yeah, signed
Again, you
affidavit.
can ignore all the tip line stuff that you want. You cool. You want to keep putting your head in the sand? Great. There are signed affidavits threatening prison time, and people signed it.
Jake, think about like the way that New York Post headline was, how eager they were for gossip on this trans person. But here you have like the president of the United States, and you can't even get like gossip columnists. Like, how broken is this? It's fucking crazy.
This media trend has been around for years. It did not surprise me in the slightest that in 2016, that a trans woman was completely ignored and victimized in a paper, let alone just other women that were coming out and claiming these stories. It's just like the power that unfortunately like cis white gendered men have, that no one can oppose them, and if they do, they sound stupid or they're wrong. It's just been ingrained in all of us, even to the point of like news articles. Like they won't even think about it before they post it. Like they're just blindly following what everyone else wants to hear.
And the billionaire worship here in the United States of America as
Disgusting.
well. Like we were like the richer you are, the more we worship you here in the United States.
Right.
And there is a two-tier system of justice, but Trump lies to you about which tier he is on.
There's no justice at this point. There's been no act of justice since this term.
That is true. I think if you want to look at like where we've deteriorated as a country, like this is it. Like it's over because we are a country that ostensibly runs on the rule of law over the rule of man. And when you won't enforce the law equally, you have it all falls apart. And you won't hold the Trump accountable just because he's Trump. I mean, you're fucked. I've always made this case about the Second Amendment too. It's like, well, it's cool that it's there, but like if you have a tyrannical government, guess what the fuck they don't care about? The Constitution. You know? It doesn't matter that you're, oh, well, this is my legally allowed to have a gun. Well, authoritarian don't give a fuck. You're gonna take it anyway. Like it's you can't, it's why you can't like compromise the rights of other people if you really want to have rights yourself. Over and over again. It's the same lesson that this country has refused to learn, and it has finally uh caused the damage, maybe the back-breaking damage. Go ahead to the next thing, Jake.
Yeah, the rule of thee and laws apply to thee and not for me is all coming to a head right now.
Yeah. This one is an FBI 1023. This is an official record. It says here that Epstein was President Vladimir Putin's wealth manager and provider for other people as well, but like was President Putin's wealth manager. Russia, 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 right? What a hoax. Fucking hoax. Portability hoax. Epstein hoax. It's all a hoax. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Unbelievable.
spring of 2015, President Trump had just been to Epstein's property for lunch. Federal Bureau of Investigations reporting document. In the spring of 2015, President Trump had just been to Epstein's property for lunch.
Yeah, long after he claims to have, gotten rid of him. It also says here that he knew President Clinton and was very close to current President Trump. Yeah. We know these things. It's because these things, like, but it's good to see them again and again because now we have, like, not, just corroborating reports. Like, over and over again, we hear the same shit, the same stuff. And even the most absurd sounding things at least cannot be disproven. There's a photo that we're not going to show, but it's two whole chickens on a cutting board, and in the center is a blacked out image that leaves a child's foot unblacked out, and they're all on a cutting board. Uh, the there's accusations of cannibalism, accusations of ritualistic human sacrifice, and as of right now, there's really no way to disprove even the wildest claims. Because some of the more wild claims, like the connection to Israel, the connection to Russia, this stuff is real. They really did use pizza as a code word. It appears thousands of times in these documents. It's crazy, the things. It's so mind blowing. And I don't know how to think about my own reaction to it because it's like, I was willing to believe that this happened. But I was so frustrated by people who didn't see Donald Trump's role in it that maybe sometimes, like, something like Pizzagate, like the fact that they use code word pizza, I thought was ridiculous. There was things that I thought were too ridiculous to be real, um, especially because they were coming from people who were like, Trump saw it in there. Like, it's right there in there.
Yeah. Pizzagate was real. Wayfair was really trafficking kids in those cabinets. All of the shit is real. They just didn't know the players.
Yeah. Yeah. We're beginning to understand.
They did know the players based off of FBI investigations. It's just they've done nothing about it.
Yeah.
Their names are right. Their names are right there in an FBI article. Right
This slipped in. This is not from the files, but it is pretty funny. So Elon Musk was trying to get onto was not invited to the wildest parties that he wanted to get into. So this is not an action. This is not a real quote. It says, "You're scaring the kids, Jeff Epstein to Elon Musk." That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the other billionaire pedophiles don't want me to come to their billionaire pedophile party.
That's crazy, bro. He could not find acceptance anywhere. Famously, Trump couldn't find acceptance in New York high society. He found acceptance among his pedophile ring. Elon couldn't even do that. Being mentioned in the Epstein files is not a sign of wrongdoing. This is Sky News. This is a Fox News affiliate in Australia, I believe. It's not a sign of wrongdoing. No, but that's your people with the original Epstein files folders, including libs of TikTok. There's some of the worst people right there. And
they look like complete fucking idiots. Libs of TikTok went radio silent on Twitter.
Yeah, I really, like, every last one of them should quit the game. And the people that have tried to argue with me about the things that they are doing had any validity can all suck it. Like, these people are. That's the free hat you were zooming in on there, Jake. It's just blurry.
No, with the blur.
Yeah, it's the blur. So he's got the black Elon hat, a couple of red ones.
They all have one.
Yeah, they got free hats and an empty binder. That empty binder also doubles as the Republican health care plan.
Right.
Yep. You can read the peace plan, all of it. It's all in there. Just fucking magic beans. What else?
So for that slew.
So these are the details of the Israel connection. This is from a declassified FBI memo. Um, it says that Trump was compromised by Israel, that Jeffrey Epstein worked with Israeli intelligence, and that a Jewish religious group calling itself Shabbat Lubavitch sought to hijack its first term in office. The memo, written in 2020, formed part of the FBI investigation into domestic or foreign influence over the U.S. electoral process. It draws on information from a confidential human source and appears among a vast trove of Epstein-related files released by the U.S. Justice Department. So again, even the wildest claims.
The president of the United States is compromised by Israel.
And
That's what that
Russia.
means.
And Russia. It's CHS advised Shabbat is doing everything they can to co-opt the Trump presidency. The memo states uh, the hardline religious group Shabbat Lubavitch is a Jewish sect founded in Russia. That's right. Has 90,000 members. It's messianic, ultra-Orthodox ideology. Repeatedly have been linked to hardline settler colonial politics in Palestine. Yes, that is what messianic means. That means you have to have Jerusalem back to bring about the Messiah. Whether you believe that that is Jesus or not is up for discussion. Of course, an ultra-Orthodox ideology would not be. But it means you have to have Greater Israel. Israel has to in the Middle East. The memo also cites Beryl Lazar, a Chabad member and former chief rabbi of Russia, describing him as a close advisor to President Vladimir Putin. Chabad is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all the Russian Jewish oligarchs, the FBI memo adds. And of course, it identifies Jared Kushner as a supporter of the group and a key force within Trump's circle. On the day President Trump was elected, Ivanka and Jared Kushner were at the gravesite of Rabbi Schneerson, who was the most powerful rabbi in the Shabbat network, the memo states. It goes further. He has been compromised by Israel. Kushner is the real brains behind this organization and his presidency. Remember that Cory Booker also is great friends with the Kushner dad. So on top of his APAC money, this is why Cory Booker is compromised. The memo says Epstein worked with U.S. and foreign intelligence and very close to the Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. So Mossad agent, all that, check, 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 check. Just absolutely fucking wild. And you know what I found out about the Kushners is that Betty from Philly, Bibi Netanyahu, used to come to the house for dinner.
Imagine that.
Yeah, like they're that tight. Like when Jared was a kid, Uncle Beebs was there.
Uncle Beebs.
I assume that's what they call him.
They had pet names.
Yeah, naturally. All right. Let's look. All right. So as news breaks today of Trump's deep involvement with UAE buying 49% of World Liberty Financial, just complete and utter corruption between him and the United Arab Emirates. Also, newly leaked documents from the Epstein files reveal that Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, president of the UAE and emir of Abu Dhabi, met with Epstein on his private island. And the purpose of those meetings were to get closer to Jeffrey, but they obviously had a much deeper relationship. He supports Israel and the massacre taking place in Gaza and is implicated in the theft of gold in Sudan and its sale together with Israel, which they're opening up a gold market in Dubai now as the genocide in Sudan happens over this gold. The relationship between him and Epstein, just to give you a sense of what it was about. Epstein mentions hearing a funny story from a woman they both knew, and him replying, Yes, after several attempts for several months, we managed to meet in New York. There was a misunderstanding. She wanted us to business. I only want a pussiness. And Epstein replied, praise Allah, there are still people like you. Um, so just disgusting fucking people, all of them. And also, don't forget MBS from Saudi Arabia is also like in a picture on Jeffrey Epstein's desk when the FBI raided the place. So not for nothing. All of these connections that Trump has in the Middle East with all these fucking dictators were set up by the pedophile ring.
Birds of a fucking feather.
Yep, it's amazing the connections between genocide and pedophiles. You can't disconnect the two. All right, guys. So the Melania movie opened. Um, it broke a record for money for a documentary at the box office at seven and some change $1 million, um, which is good for documentary because documentaries usually don't cost very much. This documentary cost $70 million, and so they're just a little bit in the hole. Um, People were posting a lot of empty seats, but Republican donors were buying out theaters after they found out that this, because you can't tell the emperor he has no clothes. So this is Melania's. This is what Trump and her have just been going to premiere after premiere. Like that's what's important to them. Melania shows off her custom-made inauguration gown, stark white with black ribbons overlaying it, a dress that now looks unavoidably like the redacted Epstein files.
Good one.
Yeah, the reviews are fucking brutal. Brutal.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's a cult, folks.
Diversity.
That is just so culty. It's weird.
They have a couple brunettes in there.
They do. Better get a wig if you want Trump to take a look at you.
It's crazy that all these people are like, I'm going to see this movie because I support the president. Whole time, the movie is produced by a man who's literally photographed in bed with Jeffrey Epstein and 2 young women.
Yes, Brett Ratner. I think we have a picture in there somewhere of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's 20 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, 10%. Will I be lost if I go see Melania, but I haven't seen Ivana or Marla first? Oh,
Oh, this isn't.
that's all right. Bill Clinton's in the files too. This is Brad. This bad boy can fit somebody in for president. Nobody gives a fuck.
I don't give a shit. I told you, holding hands as we feed them in.
Yep. Paid agitators breaking. George Soros caught paying nearly 330 million Americans to avoid the new Melania movie. The only explanation. Goddamn Soros. The Guardian's review says the Trump film is a gilded trash remake of The Zone of Interest. NPR says Amazon's airbrushed and astronomically pricey portrait of the First Lady. Just fucking horrific reviews. Yeah, guys, for the most part, I guess I just want to ask, like, is this changing the calculus? Are people paying attention to this, or is that part of the world still sealed off? Because I'll tell you, if you flipped on Fox News today, they were talking about Sydney Sweeney's tits, and I'm not making that up. Like they are still talking about Sydney Sweeney.
This is why I tell you that left-wing media does not exist.
Yeah.
Because CNN's not talking about this. Like the thing that they call left-wing media, they're not talking about the Epstein files either. Do you want to know why? Because it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the fucking same.
For sure.
They're pushing whatever narrative they're told to push by the people that control literally fucking everything.
The dude that Barry Weiss hired to for CBS is in the file 1,700 times. 1,700 times. These people are all complicit. They're all fucking compromised. And they all got to go. They all got to go.
And at this point, silence is compliance, is acceptance. I don't know. But if you're not actively speaking up, then you are compliant. You are at least willing to turn a blind eye to the atrocities that we are finding out about people in our government. and people in positions of power. Not even just government people, but the people that we have launched into power. These billionaires are disgusting people.
Yeah. Elon's approaching $800 million while the economy tanks. We had the first bank failure.
800 billion.
Billion. What did I say? Million. Ha,
Million. Yeah, that's rookie numbers. You got to pump them numbers up.
that's crazy. Yeah. That guy, Elon Musk, the pedophile who couldn't get into pedophile parties. His daughter confirms, by the way, that they were in St. Bart's around that time.
Yep.
Fucking unbelievable. This is the guy that you people want to defend. That he's worth $800 billion.
Yeah, Christmas Day he sent an emails to secure a spot on Epstein's Island.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what holiday plans. Holiday plans on fucking Epstein Island. It's disgusting. He's a fucking vile human being. And is about to
Yeah.
go public with SpaceX.
And slapping that stupid ass bumper sticker that says, have a Tesla but don't support Elon. Well, unfortunately, yes, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
The
understand.
stupidest sticker I've ever seen in my entire life. It makes me hate the person in the Tesla 10 times more than I would before. Because you still did it.
I don't always know how to take like a Tesla car. I'm like,
You don't let them merge. That's what you do. You don't let them merge. You don't let them in. And if you see them trying to park, you park even if you're not stopping there anyways.
There's one Cybertruck here on the west end of Pittsburgh that I see consistently. And I finally rode past his house the other day, and he still has his Christmas lights up.
Yep.
And I still flip him off every time I see him. Just looks at me like, what? Like, what do you want me to do? I just fucking, I don't know, blow that thing up.
The market's going to do some weird shit tomorrow, but I really hope that Tesla just wakes up and tanks.
And even just from like a corporate perspective, like these companies, like these boards of directors, why do they want these fucking pedophiles on their payroll? Like this should be enough. Like these people should all be gone already. Remember, like they impeached Clinton because of a blowjob. They didn't even like prove it, you know? That was I and they should have, to be frank. Like he should have had to like leave the presidency. Like he definitely did rape Monica Lewinsky. Like that happened. Um, and we just fucking turned a blind eye to that too. But at least back then there was some semblance of like that shouldn't be a person in charge of things who does shit like that. You know what I mean? And this was like in the 90s where people were like crude as fuck about everything, you know? And they still had a better sense of fucking moral compass than we do today, apparently.
Yeah, the term politically correct wasn't even a thing in the 90s. They were just letting it fly.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. But it was a lot more kindness and recycling back then too. Where it was kind of like, there was certain things about it that were better on, but language was not one of them.
No.
Definitely not. Everybody talked like the kids from South Park. That's what the whole world sounded like. But yeah, I don't know. It's getting bad out there. Banks are collapsing already. Everybody's moving away. The dollar's crashing at the same time as stocks and heavy metals, which is a very, very, very bad sign. Because usually when stocks fall, gold and silver come up, but people with money now are liquidating, and that's a bad, bad deal. That's a bad sign. People are doing anything they can get for cash. I rode past Soros's house yesterday. He's having a garage sale. Like it's bad out there, folks. And we already know that because we're the first ones to feel it. We've been feeling it at the grocery store. We've been feeling it in our electric bill, rent, everything. So, yeah. Stay safe out there and, fucking keep it together. We got to do as much as we can to keep spreading this stuff, pushing it out there. Don't stop talking about it. Like it, share it, post about it, talk about it. don't let this shit fucking fade into the distance because, and I mean all of it, like not the war in Iran, not the fucking pedophiles, not the Russian connections. Just we have to get rid of this, all of this, and it has to start. It's only gonna be us. It's not gonna be Hakeem Jeffries. It's not gonna be Chuck Schumer. It's not gonna be Donald Trump resigning in disgrace. It's not gonna fucking take off on a helicopter like Nixon.
No, it's not going to be the FBI or the CIA.
Clearly not. Clearly not them. Never could trust the alphabet people. You
Never.
know? Not the. So yeah, it's got to be us. If you haven't signed up on citizensimpeachment.com, do that. They have actual things that are simple that just about anybody can do every day. And every piece of the puzzle helps. So keep fighting. Don't lose faith, no matter how disgusting these files get, and God knows they will get worse. But I think the encouraging thing is that we're chipping away piece by piece of this thing, exposing more and more, and it's all this ugly has to come to the light in order for us to move past it. You know what I mean? Only way through it is through it.
This will be the awakening.
God, I fucking hope so.
You're not awake yet. What the hell are you doing?
It's a phenomenal question, Jake, that I don't think many people have an answer to.
You got to be at least a little bit awake by now.
A little bit, one eye open, but quit fighting the alarm because it's fucking it's going off. House is on fire. Got to get out.
House is on fire.
It is, man. This whole world is on motherfucking fire. Maybe we can't even find time to like cover all of the crazy headlines. Don't forget that Trump is also suing you, me, you, Brad, and Jake for $10 billion. $10 billion. So yeah, don't let this motherfucker off the hook. Maybe, nah, let's not get thrown in prison just yet. I'll save those thoughts for later. All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching, listening. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Thanks for pushing us out in the universe. Because without you, this shit doesn't happen, and it is happening. So thank you to the growing derealization nation. We'll see you out there in the comments. Until next time, I'm John,
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
and that's what's left.
FBI documents released in the Epstein files confirm our president is compromised by Israel and Russia.